Welcome to art class. Today we're starting our digital mosaics. This is the first part of this lesson, of this art project. We break it down into multiple days. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Here we are. Okay, digital mosaics, guys, you're going to love this project. Red is this. We're not going to complete this in one day. We're going to spend a couple days on it. This is just part one. Our goals for today are to create a solid color background. This is going to be the grout of our mosaic. And then we want to be 50% done with our subject. So today you've got to think about what image you want to do for your art project. And so I made a note here that says, while you can choose any subject you like, ask yourself how comfortable you are with the Polyline tool. So here are some examples of, these are simple shapes and few colors. These are going to be your easiest subjects. If I'm looking at this artwork from Among Us, there's literally only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colors, very limited color palette. Same thing for this ghost. You've got dark gray, light gray, red, pink, like it's all very simple. And then also notice these are pretty just simple, big blocky shapes. So those are the easiest. If you've been struggling with the Polyline tool, maybe we want to be right here so that we can continue to work on the Polyline tool. If you are wanting to work from like an actual photograph, you just want to make sure your photo is clear and not blurry. This would be, each individual shape is pretty simple for this candy corn. Just notice there's a lot to it. So this would be kind of in the medium range, working from a real life photograph. This is the hardest. People are the hardest possible subject. It's very time consuming. You can see here, this was an insane amount of work. And so if you're gonna do a person, if you're gonna have to be willing to spend extra time outside of class to work on it. I'm totally okay with you picking a person. I'm totally okay with you spending extra time on your art project. However, if you're struggling with the Polyline tool, if you're not spending extra time outside of our scheduled class time, then this is probably not the choice for you. I want to give you choice and voice for you to pick it, but I also want you to pick something that is appropriate for where you're at right now in your skills. All right, so once you've kind of mentally decided what you'd like to do, it's time to create our background. So we're going to just use our shape tool to basically put down a solid layer of color, and this is going to be the grout. We're going to use that shape tool, and we're just selecting the rectangle tool. I'm going to open up my copy of the art project. You can access your copy through Clever or Google Classroom. I'm going to select the shape tool. I'm choosing this first option, and I'm actually choosing the first rectangle right here. It's literally the first shape I can click on. If I want to create a rectangle that fits my background perfectly, then I'm going to place my cursor in the upper left. I'm going to click, but I am not releasing. I'm clicking and I'm dragging. I like to use two hands when I'm working. So right now my left index finger is still pressed down on the mouse pad, and I'm using my right hand to move. That way I can drag it and make it the exact size I want. Beautiful. And then I can change it to whatever color I so desire for my background. I'm doing this kind of butterfly. I'm gonna choose a dark gray. You can choose any color. I would choose a color that is not in my artwork though. I just want to show that step again. If you accidentally just click once and it makes a square, that's actually okay. You can just move that square, either click and drag it to where you want it, or you can use your keyboard. Move it and line up put it in the corner, and then you can use this. Really, you gonna move on me? Clear that off, clear all drawings. You can use this little darker blue square. You can click and drag it and change the size of it. This one, the square on this right-hand side will only change that. This little square on the bottom will change that one. But if you want to change them both at the same time, use the corner square. And again, I'm just clicking and dragging. Clear off my annotations. Okay. the end result is I have a background color that's going to be the grout. So this is the color that's actually showing up in between my polyline shapes. And I wanted to go with the dark gray. So it's just to kind of go back and make a connection. If these are finished examples, so this artist who did the ghost, their background color that they just made was purple. This artist would have been black. You can see this one is gray. This one is actually a lighter color. It gives it kind of a little bit of a different look to it with the kind of cream color. Gray, black. So again, it really is, any color is fine as long as it just fills up the whole entire space. Okay, I'm ready to insert my picture. Let me just make a text box to track what I did. So, one, background rectangle, done. Number two, I need to insert image. We've done this a couple times now. Insert image, and we're going to choose the search the web option. I have predetermined for my own self as an artist that I really wanted to do a butterfly. And I actually do want to work from like a real photograph. This one's super nice. One thing I'm thinking about when I'm making my choice, I do want to pick a choice with color for this project since our mosaic is going to have color. So I immediately disregarded these options. I also kind of mentally disregarded these particular butterflies with the wings open because I feel like that's very boring just for myself. And I chose this one because I thought that the composition with the folded wings and the flower was more interesting. So mentally, I was thinking about what is going to make a good artwork, and I decided that this one would be a good choice. Also notice how big it is. This example right here with these teeny tiny butterflies, I don't think would work as well. I want to focus more on this bigger subject. That was the thoughts that went into making this decision. Alrighty. When you insert the image, it should kind of automatically go to the correct size and you don't have to move it. It looks awesome. All right, so done. Steps 1 and 2, knocked out pretty fast. So of course, step 3, this is where most of your work is going to take place. This is using our Polyline tool to create the mosaic. A mosaic is just an artwork made from many, many pieces. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in to about 200%. I'm not going to finish this whole artwork in one day, so I just want to kind of pick a spot. My goal says 50%, so right now I'm saying to myself, I can get 50% of this butterfly done. When you first go into your artwork, the Polyline tool is not automatically selected. It's actually on the line tool, and you have a variety of line tools. So if I click on select line, it will take me to the Polyline tool. The first time you do that, it will take you to the Polyline tool, but you may find that doing this over and over will not work. Once you change to the Polyline tool, don't click on the arrow anymore. Just click on Polyline. And I know my Polyline tool is selected because I have a plus shape instead of an arrow. A polyline is called a polyline because it's meant for making simple 3 or 4-sided shapes. Those are not actually part of my artwork. Just demonstrating. All right, so I'm going to start in this kind of big orange area. And my pieces, imagine if I just took some glass and I shattered it, it would all be just random pieces, random sizes. And then I imagine I was making my mosaic from that. I'd probably leave a little bit of space. You can see here, I'm not making any kind of specific shapes. They're all just kind of random. Lots of triangles, which are super easy to do. And then I do want to get rid of my border. I'm going to make my lines transparent. Right here, the line tool, the border color. And then I'm going to do my best to kind of match the color that's in there. I don't really see the color, so I'm going to actually go to custom color and see if I can get that like really warm orangey color. Let's see how close that is. That's pretty good. Once I make a custom color, it appears right there. Let's keep going. For demonstration purposes today, I think I will leave my border lines up there so you can see them, but I don't want them in your artwork, and I will remove them eventually. I end up using like a lot of triangles in mine, but sometimes I'll kind of like switch it up and create more jagged shape. Like so. Notice that none of my shapes are actually touching each other. Eventually, we'll delete this photograph and it will just be our shapes on top of our background color, our grout. If you were not good at the Polyline tool, this project is going to make you an expert for sure, because you're just using it so many times. One thing that I'm thinking about as I work is just trying to keep my spaces good, but we will talk about this more next week of how to reflect on our work and fill in some of those gaps. So for this week, I really want you to focus on just kind of filling in about 50% of the space on your subject. If you're worried it might not be enough, well then just do a little extra. Any work you do this week will be less work to do next week. So I fully encourage you to do all that work. All right. So I went ahead and just left these white and black so you could see me working, but I do want to show you, I do want to like actually change these. I want to teach you a quick shortcut. I haven't taught this before, but you've probably seen me do this. So I want to select all of these shapes so I can change the colors all at once. So because changing this one by one is a waste of time. So I'm going to click on one. On my keyboard, I'm going to hold Shift and click again. Now I have two selected. Ha! Shift, click a third one. Now I've got three. So I'm just holding down the Shift button with my left hand and clicking with my right. If you get confused about which ones you've done, you can maybe just do smaller groups for a second. But I absolutely, hello husband, love selecting multiple shapes because it's so time efficient. I am not 100% sure that I like that color exactly. So that's also like, if I decide later that wasn't quite the right color and I need to select all of them, it's nice to be able to select multiples. All right, and so that shape is really nice. And just, just to kind of show you how it looks on the grout, that's how it looks. I just deleted the picture and then pressed undo. Alrighty, I'm only going to work on a little bit more of this before I release you to do your work. I want to do this black as black. I'm just going to go ahead and use that technique I did earlier where I'm just going to leave them white for now, and then I will come back and make all of the colors different at once. So that one is selected, Shift click, I have another, Shift click, I have another, Shift click, I have another, Shift click, Shift click. Change my border color to transparent, and change my fill color to black. And now it's hard to see, but I can always check my work. I clicked on my photograph, delete. I can see my work, and then undo. Undo button is your friend. This is looking really nice. There's nothing else I want to teach you. There's just you doing the work, the 50%. If you were to stop right now, that's about 10%. That would not be a good grade. And that means you're gonna have makeup work. So you want to do 50% of your subject. It should be about solid 30 minutes of work. 30 minutes. And then, just for reference, there's Polyline tool. What did I want to tell you guys? Here we go. Here's kind of an example. This is about 50%. You can see here, this entire pumpkin is done right here. It's not quite a circle. Try that again. This entire pumpkin is done, and part of this one. And this particular artist was only doing 2 pumpkins, so that's why it's 50%. 50%. And then you can see they have their color in the background. All right, I am going to stop sharing my screen and say adieu. There you are. I cannot wait to see your progress on your work. Good luck, and thank you for watching.